Evening, Gas Heads, and welcome back to episode 1 of the Talking Gas podcast. I'm sure everyone has seen now that I've done the change. I just thought it was the right time, really. You know, we basically do a podcast anyway, so yeah, I thought I'd give it a name change. Hopefully, everyone does enjoy it, and you like the logo, etc. But yeah, appreciate obviously all the messages. The support everyone's shown me since I started. One Rovers vlogs in 2019 has been crazy. So really thank everyone supported. Hopefully you can keep supporting us like you do. With all the support, all the shares, all the likes, there's been a lot of good memories on that. But yeah, welcome. Yeah, episode 1, like we do always. If you are new, we always go live at 8 p.m. on a Thursday. The only time we don't go live on a Thursday is if we might also go live on a Monday, like we will be doing, or a Sunday, like we will be doing this weekend. Of course, we've got our first home night league game of the season against Port Vale, so keep an eye out on socials for that. It should be Sunday, but yeah, just keep an eye out on socials. But yeah, thanks to everyone that's tuning in. Obviously, as always, get your comments in as we go over the Wigan game. As we go over the Chris Martin news. Of course, I've done a video on that yesterday, and we'll be getting a Peterborough fan, Caiden. I'll be coming on later on to let us know more of Peterborough's start to the season, their weaknesses, their strengths, etc. The way they line up, recruitment, because I know they've lost a lot of players throughout the summer. But yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. It really does help out. I know I've gone on about it a lot, but it really does help out and push the channel more into, other people's direction. So hit the like button. If we can get over 50 likes from people watching live and people watching on the replay, then that would be great. Do subscribe if you're new as well. Only 57 off 6,500 subscribers, which is crazy. And of course, if you are watching back on the replay, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your score predictions in the comments. Of course, after we finish this, I'll put this the timestamps in later on, so you can look at different parts if you don't want to watch the whole video. But yeah, getting into it, we of course joined by Neil. How's it going, Neil? How was your weekend, and how's your week been so far after the masterclass that was Saturday?
Yeah, mate. Weekends are always better, aren't they? With 3 points, and was better, but back to being double busy in the week and that, and then just waiting for Saturday to roll around again.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, before we do get into the actual Wigan game, we did talk about Chris Martin. We knew, Garces knew that he was training with us, and it has been confirmed yesterday evening out of nowhere that Chris Martin signed on a free transfer until January. What do you make of that? Especially him signing not on a year, but only till January. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't mind it at all, to be honest. It's an area that we've been lighting, ever since what went on with transfers of what we've done at the top end of the pitch, looking to get certain someone in, shifted on Lofty because of it, didn't acquire him. So we've been light, haven't we? We have been light.
Yeah.
You ain't going to get much better, really, on a 3-month deal. You're not really going to get much better. So I don't know. You can't ask for much more than that over the course of a 3-month deal. You're not going to get someone who's red hot who's 28, who fires in goals left, right, and centre. I mean, Chris Martin's probably he's not match fit. All he's gonna do is lighten the load, but he can sniff a goal out. He'll lighten the load on Marquis. It will see us through it's going to be a heavy period. It always is, when you're coming around that Christmas period. So he's going to be vital for us, whether he plays half hour, an hour. He's just going to lighten the load a little bit, but his experience will see earmanned us through, I'd have thought. But the fact that it's until when it is and the deal's up, it makes me think that there's potentially an agreement in principle for something in January, or we're going all in again in January, because else you back him to go, do you know what, we'll just take you to the end of the season and keep getting you up to speed and getting you fitter and fitter and fitter. Mm-hmm. But they've gone with the 3-month deal, and it leads me to suggest that something's hopefully and potentially agreed in principle to be done in January.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, hopefully, obviously a lot of people will still, want Clark Harris. We'll have to see. Obviously, it's funny enough that we're playing him this week. But yeah, even into Fall on Blue saying even in a new chapter begins. Absolutely. Even into Dylan George as well. Can't complain about a free. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh well. Yeah, that sort of thing, really. Also, I wanna let us know. You've probably seen it already, but if you haven't, we have set up a Twitter and an Instagram of the Talking Gas podcast. If you see scrolling below, if you could follow us on that Instagram, just Talking Gas podcast, and Twitter is at Talking Gas Pod. So basically, all the videos that I've been doing on my normal Instagram or man of the match things, etc., then I'll put them basically on all the socials. That so on my normal Instagram, it won't be just Rovers. So yeah, if you could follow us on that, if you haven't already, that'd be class. And obviously, we're partnered with Fan Hub. So if you haven't joined already, there's a code at the bottom of the screen that is scrolling down. If you want to join that, then you can do. So yeah, even into Rob as well. But of course, getting into the Wigan game, our first home win of the season, and madly and crazily enough, only our third home win in 2023, which is still mad to say, really. But yeah, there was a few, changes. Obviously, Wilson injured, which hopefully isn't too long. We haven't heard a lot on that. You've got Harvey Vell came in at left back. Josh Grant played at centre back. Finley came in, which even I was like, probably a lot of people, because he, from his own standards, he hasn't, shown, his best performances, for quite a while. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. Obviously, Gordo also says, what's your view on the withdrawn PP? I'm not sure. Even into Tom Butler as well. I mean, the adverts once on YouTube, once you get to a certain number of people watching you, and etc., then you can basically put adverts in for like ad revenue and stuff like that. Like I get paid a tiny bit, not massively amounts, but that's basically why the adverts. So if you had a YouTube channel, you'd probably do the same thing. I try and not have them on a lot, but even into Ben Dowell as well. But yeah, Neil, what did you make of it with the changes, different players coming in, bit of a rotated team? What did you make when the lineups come out?
I mean, I say it every week. I'm never too concerned with what goes out there now. I just think we're so stacked our squad is so stacked that whatever gets replenished and replaced, there's no real drop off in quality, to be honest. Everyone's going to have their starting 11 that they believe is the best, but you can't roll through a 40+ game a season with it all the time. So, I mean, I didn't even have a problem with Josh Grant at centre half. He's played centre half for Plymouth for the best part of the season. He knows what he's doing there. He's not a novice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was ideal to go in against. We spoke about in the week how Wigan were going to set up and how naive and the way they were going to play, and we sort of set up like we did, with all due respect, not as gung ho, but like we did sort of. Remember when we went away to places like Stevenage, we played Scunthorpe at home, when we just played wingers at fullback and went, you won't touch us. If you go toe to toe with us, you won't get near us. And we backed ourselves. We backed ourselves in basically a gunfight against a load of kids who fancied themselves to do the same, and basically broke their hearts eventually and came out on top. So, it could have gone terribly wrong. You could have come back from that and gone, oh, you know what? He's gone flat out with attacking players. We've been caught out and we've been beat at home or not got the result or whatever. But I said it in a week. I think we'd run over him second half, and that sort of side did. And what our bench is, I don't think sides will live with us if they go toe to toe with us.
Yeah. Like you said, it was pretty mad. That's the first time. Even to be fair, Barnsley, we sort of done the same as well, though, but we just didn't finish our chances. But yeah, Wigan, everything just clicked into place, I suppose you could say. I think, and I said it on the reaction after, it's about time we started really well and on the front foot. I mean, we have started pretty well for a lot of the games, but just getting that obviously goal because that was the first time we scored a first half goal at the Mem this season.
They've not like we spoke about when we expected it. Wigan never turned up to frustrate us. They come to get at us, and they came to make it wide open and go toe to toe with us. And it suited us down to the ground because we're not playing against 8 behind the ball, like solid sort of 4 on top of 4, no room, no area. Evans had a field day in them pockets on Saturday because he had license to be able to roam and play between the lines. A lot of sides we've played, this season, have sat in, dug in, frustrated us. And like I said about our options right through the middle, as far as it just being Marcus, we have to be near perfect to create them chances. Saturday, Wigan came with a load of confidence. They fancied themselves, young 9 kids. We'll get at this side. They'll let us get at them, and they can come back gas. But ultimately, we run over them.
Yeah, and like you said, we proper went for it. We like you said, we already knew anyway how they were going to play, and that's why me and you, especially me, I nearly got the same score right again. I said obviously 3-1. You went with 3-2. I mean, you got 3-2 Rovers. You got the right amount of goals in the game, and I was close as well. But we both said, like you said, because they didn't sit back and they wanted to come out and play, which is nice for a change. Because even Hunt said after, it's the first time in ages that we've played a back 4. So and like you said, we knew how they were going to play, and it was proper. I thought it was just going to be like, we'll go for it, but you basically had everyone. Bogard was trying to sit back a little bit, but everyone else, Finley, and Evans were basically playing just behind Marquis. You had both, obviously, Vell bombing up with Collins. You had Hunt basically as the right winger and Thomas as the right mid. And it was just important. We said important to get that first goal. It's crazy though, isn't it? Only the first time this season we scored the first goal at the Mem is mental. And like Dylan said, everyone, put in 100%. Obviously, Thomas, really good finish to get his second goal of the season. Then you had the Collins shot, the keeper rebounded it, but we kept it going. Thomas and Collins had interchanged. Thomas went on the left, a good ball in, and obviously Hunt, got that goal. Obviously, luckily the linesman as well, was right near it, so he could see. And then that, and also important was to go in at halftime winning as well, wasn't it? Because it could have been different. Wigan had that first chance. I think it was Asgard, the young player with the ponytail. He missed a massive chance at 0-0. So it's about time we had a tiny bit of luck as well, especially at home.
I think you can look at it 2 ways though. I think Wigan going at half time delighted they're only a goal down because it was coming in waves, and that looked to me like when I was looking at that looked to me like a back end League 2 performance for Rovers. Just wave after wave after wave of attack. Everything was in their half. It was all in their half, and there was no let up. And then basically once Collins scores, it breaks their heart because they know they're never going to get the ball back because of how the game was going. They're young kids. They've blown a gasket chasing all game to the best part of an hour until we've gone through. And then after that, it was we just broke their hearts. And they knew they weren't getting back into that.
Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah, Ben Darrell saying Josh Grant, what a centre half. Yeah, he was class. And that was the thing that we've. You could see even the subs. There was a thing from Gab Sutton, who does a lot of EFL, spaces or videos on Twitter, etc. And Charlie Keegan, who was on our channel last week during the preview, he was saying Barton and wanted it to be that keep going that he didn't make changes until very late, and that's what we wanted. It's sort of been, we've sort of spoke about a little bit that it's sort of been coming as well, a game like that for us, because like we said, we've seen it at basically Barnsley, but we just couldn't score, and it's finally Yeah, especially to finally get that first home win as well, I think is really important. And just because a few weeks ago it could have gone the same way as Port Vale. Maybe not all of our chances going, but like you said, it was just so dominant, and the fact that we just kept going, and then Tom saying we crushed them in the end. Then we bring on you look at the bench as well, innit? And even with a few injuries, even with Wilson out and a few others, Kramer of course, then you could still bring on Giovanni Brown, Sinclair, Ryan Woods, McCormick, Luca Hall as well.
Ever since that squad was built and we continue to add little bits to it, I've been saying that's where the points are. Your bench is where you pick your points up. Mm-hmm. Your bench is where you're going to pick your points up, because we'll maintain, we'll hold, we'll get ourselves to a point in a game, and then Joe will just go after an hour or 20, after an hour, 20 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go, we just roll the dice again, and you could bring on another 3 in a hit. Could completely transform the top end of that pitch. And then, the last thing you want is, say Saturday, last thing you want with 10 minutes to go, you run your legs off, is Macca to come and run all over your midfield. You just don't need it. You know what I mean? It just breaks your heart. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't need it. So that bench will win. That's what will pick you up points, that bench.
Yeah, definitely. And we've already said how important it is. And it's looked really good. And the biggest problem we've had for a while is squad depth. Like, even you look at last season, it's completely different. How we've been really smart with a lot, and a lot of the signings are on a free. They might, a lot of them maybe might be on a bit more sort of wages, because obviously they're free, but they're so smart, the signings we made. Even you look at Ryan Woods, coming in on loan, and Vale, who every time I've seen Vale play, he's done really well for me. And even at left back, there was a few times, where he got caught up, but he will do. He's not a left back, But I tell you what, for a winger / cam to play as well as he did at left back, I thought he was unreal though.
It's playing personnel what suits what the game is going to be. Like when we played Harry Anderson at fullback, he was never to be a fullback. It was to go and join in and keep bombing on and creating overloads. And playing a side like Wigan allows that. If you're going to go and play against a side which is going to block and counter, they target him all the time to try and get him as a novice fullback, wouldn't they? But a side like Wigan allows you to go and play that, so you can keep bombing on, creating overloads, and keep those waves of attack going.
Yeah, I completely agree. Simon Brace, evening to you as well. Is Flash injured? I'm not even sure if he's injured or not. I just think he's been left out, because I don't think he was even that bad, but now there's just so. Go on.
I think both him and Hull, I think they've played so many games. For they're only kids, remember, they're babies. Both of them are babies. You know what I mean? They've played loads of football over the course of like how long they've been with us now. Well, Hull's a mainstay sort of thing, but Gordon, we had no other options. He played left back when he was carrying knocks, injured, sore, 70%. I think they've just been given time to recuperate, to be honest. I just think we've got the ability now to go and sit people in the stand now and go, you just need 3 weeks rest. Yeah. And then we'll slowly drip feed you and integrate you back in, sort of thing, as and when we need to. But at the minute, our fullbacks are like, they're red hot at the minute, like no matter who plays there.
Yeah, I agree. Even into Jake Milsom as well. Shout out to Jake. He was the creator of the NA16 Cup I played in. So, shout out to Jake as well. Ben Darrell saying, Aaron did help out a lot as well defensively with Vale. Even into Chris as well, and even into Cure Galore, even in Lads Can't Say I was worried on Saturday when I saw Vale at left back, but he looked excellent, bossing the wing all day. Hunt superb. Hunt, we knew from, he's played a lot of his career in the Championship, even when he's been at League One, he's got promoted. What did you make? He just looks class. And I said after on the reaction, he's been our best player since he's joined us, and he was class, man. He's so good. And he like a goal and assist, the ball he whipped in for Marquis was quality, but you just expect it really from a player of his quality, and how we managed to get him in on a free as well. And I think he's been superb, and he struggled, I think, for their goal, their winger was pretty good, wasn't he? Anyway, but he struggled. In the first few minutes with that winger, but after that he was quality, wasn't he? Is he still there, Neil? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, mate. Sorry, I don't know what went on then.
No, that's all right. But yeah, he was quality though, wasn't he? Hunt, he's just class.
Yeah, but like I said, he's a good solid senior pro, isn't he? Like he could have come here and gone, do you know what, I'm just gonna toss it off into me like 30s and cruise through it. But he struck up a partnership and a relationship with Thomas immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like they play really well together as far as their understanding of what they want to do, how each other plays. I think they link up really, really well. But he's just a good solid pro, and a good senior pro, like probably demands high standards again. Really pleased with him.
Yeah, definitely. He was just class. Like you said, Taylor, I thought he was excellent. You seen, like we talked about, Josh Grant, really, really good. Quickly want to get your thoughts on their goal. Do you think I've seen 50-50 on that? People think it was a foul. People think White was just stronger. What did you make of their goal?
I don't know, really. When you look at it, it looks a bit innocuous, doesn't it? It doesn't look something to nothing. But my biggest complaint was we all just stopped. Rovers just stopped. That's my biggest complaint against it. I mean, if you don't stop, you deal with it. But Rovers just they just assumed that it was going to get given, and that was that. But it's a soft one to give away. But I think just because of the scoreline, the way it was, I didn't pay much attention to it.
Yeah.
But on another day, if you drop points off the back of it, it's a big deal. But my biggest issue with it is that they all stopped.
Yeah.
You've got a problem with it, boot it into touch and get in the referee's ear, but don't stop while the ball's in play.
Yeah, don't stop. Yeah, I agree. Ben Darrell was saying Taylor and Hunt understand each other so well already, and Taylor, kicks on with the experience around him. It's, as I said, it's either a good way about Chris Martin as well. Even into Gas said, I obviously I see a few people saying about the adverts. Maybe if maybe we could, in the next few weeks, try it as in like a video format, just because if it is annoying for some people, then that's fair enough. I understand. Someone to learn off as well. So, but even Finley, I want to talk about, because like we said earlier on, he's sort of struggled for quite a while to get consistency and show what we've seen when we were doing well earlier last season. But I thought he was outstanding. What did you make of Finley?
Yeah, that's his best performance for us this season so far. But again, it's a solid pro. Anything, he's not going to be shit overnight. Do you know what I mean? You can't just banish him. He's just the only way you're going to get better is by playing games. And to be honest, on the Tuesday he stunk the place out in the Pizza Cup. But plenty of Connor Taylor didn't put in a performance, did he? But it's difficult because they don't. Like I said, it's an inconvenience to them. It's not really a game. Like Saturday's a completely different scenario. Played really well, Finley again. But I expect him to eventually. Do you know what I mean? He's not a novice. He's not a kid. He's a solid top end League One, centre midfielder. So eventually that game was going to come. It just came a bit later than you'd have liked it to.
Yeah, and then obviously, you look at Bogard. I thought he gave the ball away a few times in the first half, early on, like as did Collins. But then after that, really, once we got into our stride, which was pretty early, Bogard, class. Obviously Collins scored a great goal after a really, really good ball from Finley. Obviously Collins now 3-3 in 3 games and 2 in the league, obviously, which is brilliant to see. I think we just needed that. I think obviously earlier on in the season, he was maybe struggling a bit of confidence or sort of obviously coming off the back of, you know, the last season, which we ended quite poorly, even though obviously we stayed up, you know, fairly straightforward. It was, you know, a lot of people were saying, you know, about Collins and stuff like that, but it's all about confidence, isn't it? When you're, and the same as Marcus, you know, that Barnsley game, he was missing all the chances, but now he's learning off each other, isn't it? Because we've got a lot of new players again, you know, after signing Martin, that's 13 players again. So it does take time, doesn't it, to get going. And we know, even if we don't sign all these players, we're sort of slow starters anyway. But now, 3 games unbeaten in the league, you know, back-to-back wins, is starting to look good.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it season after season. You just jostle for position, really, until you get to the last sort of 12, 13 games anyway in this league. You just jostle for position until you have a right good crack at it when it gets to the business end. So you just pick up the odd points. You have bad games, you drop silly points here and there. As long as you stay in the hunt and you stay in the mix up until sort of, you know, the last sort of 10, 12, 13 games, you're going to be there or thereabouts. It's just, you got your really, really, really rich vein of form at the very, very last sort of hurdle of the season. Mate, I was seeing stuff like Collins can go. Like, it's ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Eventually, top players will turn up. Eventually, it just doesn't happen on day one. That's all.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that was crazy. But it's football's crazy though. Sometimes you could be like, oh, what is this player doing? But like you said, it's
46 games in the season though, isn't there?
Yeah.
We'll go into this week with 3 games. We've got 3 games this week. If you come out of that with, I don't know, a win and 2 losses, everyone's fuming. But 3 points in a week at this stage of season isn't the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It ain't perfect, it ain't brilliant, but it's steady. Do you know what I mean? And all you need at the minute is just to keep jostling, keep chipping away. Because, you know, we're not in February, March at the minute. You know, we just got to keep chipping away and getting a little bit better, a bit more understanding. I mean, the chance of us picking up 9 points in a week is like very, very, very slim. I mean, what do you reckon? What do you reckon is a decent return for, you know, the fact that we're not even 10 games into a season yet? We've got a 3-game week. What would your points return be acceptable for this, considering who we're playing, where we're playing, and their form?
Well, yeah, you look at it, don't you? You look Peterborough away, awful record there, and then it was at Port Vale at home who after their 7-0 battering against Barnsley, I've had a brilliant start as well, so that'll be tough. They'll come to us at the Mem on Tuesday and sit deep. Be a tough, and then is it Oxford after that? Isn't it?
Oxford away. On 12:30 kickoff.
12:30 kickoff. Yeah, and they're absolutely flying. Yeah, so I'd probably say, so acceptable. I'd say 6.
So if we come out of that week with 4 points, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, but
that's a win. So 2 games away from home, all form teams.
Yeah,
and we win and draw and lose. That ain't on.
I mean, it's just
tough,
isn't it? It is tough. Obviously, Ben said 6. It is going to be tough.
I'll take 6 right now. Snap your hand off for 6 right now.
Yeah.
It's a slog, mate. This season is a slog.
Yeah.
If we come out of that with 3, it looks bad, but it ain't the be all and end all. It ain't the end of the world.
Yeah. I just, obviously, like you said, hopefully now we can be a bit more consistent. But like you said, it is going to be tough as well. You know, like we said, Peterborough, our record is horrendous, but I'm confident going into it. I think most gasheads are. But yeah, it is tough. I mean, yeah, Tom Butler saying 4. It's just tougher though, isn't it? When you look at it, you think, oh, you could get 9 points, but then you say 4. And then it just, you know, there's a lull there. But
4 points. You can't say 4 points from them fixtures is a shit win.
No, not shit.
It's not bad, is it? Like,
yeah,
it's perfectly acceptable, isn't it? 4 points from 3 games when you go, I could have got a possible 9, but We ain't Man City. Do you know what I mean?
No, we're not. Jake's saying 6 as well. I mean, it all depends. It all depends on. Obviously, now I'd love 9, but
well, 9's fantasy land, isn't it? 9's fantasy
9,
land, but like
9, but it
six
just all
is beyond
depends.
excellent.
Yeah, it just all depends because I think we're definitely, because we've got a bigger squad now. We'll definitely see rotation as well. I think especially Tuesday. I think we can
100%. Yeah, that's
we
what the
can
squad's
make
built for.
changes. Hopefully we don't get any more centre back injuries because we've only got 2 because Kramer's meant to be out for a long while. So yeah, it's tough, isn't it? When you look at 3 games in a week, you're there, but it all depends. As long as we can do the basics well. Yeah, Rob's saying 2 draws away, win at home. Yeah, but yeah, it's tough, innit? I mean, obviously, before we get predicting, what would you say you think's gonna happen before? Obviously, we'll go into it more on Sunday when we do the Port Vale preview. We'll get a Vale fan on as well. But what you looking at it? Peterborough away, Vale at home, and then Oxford away. And I know we've got this crazy record at Oxford. You know, the only time we've lost there in like the past 8-9 years was the COVID season. But Oxford, like you said, they're on fire and they're playing some great football. You know, so looking at it quickly, what are you thinking? I know it's obviously putting you on the spot, but
no, I mean, I can see us picking up 7 points. I can see us picking up 6 points. I can see us picking up 5 points. 4. It is difficult. It is difficult because one of those games is going to be a big turnaround in personnel due to the fact that you've got to go into Oxford at 12:30. You know, off the back of a Saturday 12:30 kickoff on the road against another form side. So, and you can't like legislate for an injury or a suspension. It could come up. But as far as what I think is an acceptable return, I mean, I'd have no qualms with 3-4 points over that. I wouldn't take it right now. But if someone said this is what you're going to get dealt, I'd be all right with it. I wouldn't have my head in my hand saying this is absolutely horrific. Like we've fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that though. If someone said that, you know, you'd be like, oh, it's tough, isn't it? Because then, but if someone said to you right now,
the start of October, we've got hurdles and hurdles and hurdles to run yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just got to jostle for position to get there or thereabouts. Last 10 games, I wouldn't pay any attention to the table till, you know, sort of November. I just wouldn't. You know, we'll just keep chipping up points here. We'll slip up here and there. We'll pick up a bad point. We'll play at home on a Tuesday night under lights and probably get a point against someone we should have won. But just see where we are with that last block of 10 games and then give it a right good push.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know, like I was going to say though, before we bring in Caiden, it's like the fact, it's like you were saying then, if someone was to offer you so-and-so, but then you wouldn't know, it's all about the performance though, isn't it? Because I wouldn't mind taking 4 or whatever.
I'd take 6 now. If someone offered me 6, I'd take
6, of course. But it all depends. If we can play on, you know, normal game, I know it's going to be tough, you know, especially the next 3 with the Tuesday in between. But it all depends on performance. If we can play like we have been the last 3 games, then you know, it's fine. But it's all about performance. But it's looking good. 4-1 win against Wigan, 4 different goal scorers. You know, going into Peterborough is good. And obviously Peterborough, you know, did play the other night as well. So we'll get Caiden in on now from Cape United. Before he comes in, make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. I'm guessing he'll be vlogging the game as well. So subscribe to Cape United and subscribe to Borough on my mind as well. But yeah, evening, Caiden. Appreciate you coming on the channel.
Cheers for that one. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So yeah, getting into Posh, we you know, we're a few points behind you in the league. And you've actually played a game more as well. Obviously Peterborough 8th in the league, played 9, won 4, drew 2, lost 3, currently on 14 points. And Rovers are 12th, played 8, won 3, drew 3, lost 2, 12 points. So if we do beat you, which is obviously a tough task. One, because Peterborough are a good side, and the other one we talked about a second ago is that our record, well, seems to be a lot of grounds. Our record at Peterborough, I can't even remember. If anyone could put in the comments the last time we won at Peterborough's ground, then. But yeah, what's your thoughts on the season so far and how you've been playing?
Well, it was a good start. I think we won the first 3, maybe 4, something like that. And then we went into the local derby against Northampton, expecting it to be the easiest game so far. And it was a late winner for Northampton. It wasn't exactly an ideal game. And since then, really, we've sort of been on a downfall, I would say. Last season, we were really good at going 1-0 up and keeping that lead. Whereas this season, since the Derby game, since playing Derby, we've gone 1-0 up and we've sort of fallen apart and conceded goals and lost the game. Yeah,
because obviously the last 3 results, like you said, your last game at home was the Cheltenham game. Obviously, it took you, from what I seen of it, you were pretty poor for quite a long spell to that game. Even if Cheltenham had 9 men in the end as well, didn't they? But you obviously did win in the end, winning 3-0. But like you said before that, I think you drew with Orient as well at home, 1-1. And then, like you said, I'm pretty sure you went 1-0 up against Derby and then lost. Was it 4-2?
Yeah, it was in the end.
Yeah, with Waghorn scoring a hat trick. So, yeah, what sort of? There's been quite a lot of changes, hasn't there, this season? A lot of players have left. I'm sure a lot of Rovers fans will know. If you don't know, they've got the policy. Is it with a year left, you put players on the transfer list? Is that right? At Peterborough, you put players on the transfer list with a year left on their deal. Is that right? And then, because a lot of your players, you've had quite a big turnaround, haven't you, this summer?
Yeah, we got rid of a lot of the key players. I'm surprised we kept a lot of them, but I guess it's sort of been a good thing. Especially keeping Jono. He brings the goals.
Yeah.
We'll go into that a bit more in a little bit, but it needed to happen. We needed to get rid of, a lot of the players. It's supposed to be a new start, sort of homegrown, younger talent, and some like it, some don't. But regardless, you sort of need to get on board with it. This season, us fans aren't really expecting much. Most are, expecting to finish just outside the playoffs. And if we were to get playoffs, that would be seen as a very big success. But yeah, we're not expected to get promoted this year. Totally gone into a different route from what you asked, but there we go.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, yeah, because I've seen it as well. McAntony. I mean, it's been Peterborough for quite a while. Even in that you sort of sign players for cheap, and then make huge profits. We've seen Jack Taylor, who was for me the best midfielder in the league, go to Ipswich. You've seen obviously. I mean, if you could tell us some of the other players that did leave as well, and then going on the players that you've signed, although there's quite a lot of players to go through.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot. I'm not very good with names going off the top of my head, but yeah, Jack Taylor was definitely a key one. I can't think. We got rid of Kent. We got rid of Kent to Hearts.
Yeah,
I guess.
Kent, yeah.
I wouldn't really call him one of the key players, but he definitely brought in that sort of experience, I would say, to the team. Whereas now we sort of do lack a bit of experience. But yeah, as you were saying, we definitely are a selling club. That's the ways we make profit as a club. Well, during COVID, it's a bit hard to make profit, but that's the main way that we make our money, really, through selling the big players. Ivan Toney was one of the key ones, but we've had many through the years. I remember Colin Washington. He had a great first half of the season, and then we shipped him off to QPR, I'm pretty sure, for quite a bit of money.
Yeah. So it's sort of been the routine, hasn't it, with Peterborough? But like you said, I think I remember you got obviously one of our old players who we had, Norburn. He left as well. You got Dan Butler, who I would have took at Rovers. I thought he was a quality player, but he's ended up at Stevenage. Obviously they've had a brilliant start as well, and it's been pretty interesting, the amount of players, but also the players that you brought in though. Off the top of my mind, Archie Collins, who a lot of Rovers will know. I thought the game, I think was it 4-3 they beat us in the end at home last season, Exeter, and he was outstanding, and obviously that's a brilliant. How has he been for you this season, Archie Collins, in that midfield?
I would say he's been on and off, but when he's been at his best, he's been very good. I wouldn't say he's had a bad performance any games, but sometimes he can go missing. But as I said, when he's performing, he is probably the best player in the team, maybe behind a couple of others. But yeah, very good player.
Yeah, and also, could you talk to me about this goalkeeper you got as well? Because I've seen you got him on. Is it from Huddersfield, I believe, on loan? I've seen good bits of him, and I've seen poor bits of him. Like I think it was the Barnsley game. He made quite a big mistake. So, yeah, what's been your thoughts on that keeper? I'm not going to say his name because I'll probably butcher his name. But yeah, what's been your thoughts on him?
It's Bila Kapic. I would say he's had very good moments, but then he goes and makes a mistake. Like the Barnsley game, I thought that was probably his best performance beside the goal. In the first half, he was brilliant, and we should have been 1-2 down. But he's made a few errors. Well, a couple errors, and then a few others that people have criticised him for and said he should have been saving. But personally, I don't think he's a bad keeper. But if he does slip up anymore, then we've got a backup that could take his place.
Yeah, I mean, Rovers and Peterborough have sort of been similar in the most recent years. Obviously, we've still got Belshaw, but he was the first permanent keeper we've had in quite a while. We've had quite a lot of loans over the past few years, and a lot of them have gone on to. One has gone on to play in the Premier League. A few have gone. We had Neil Everidge on loan. Went on to play in the Prem for Cardiff. We had, there's another few that's gone off my head, but from Middlesbrough, you had Jack Bonham as well, who's a starting Championship keeper now. And yeah, Peterborough, I think you had Bergstrom last season, and you had Will Norris as well. So yeah, that should be quite interesting. And Ben Dowell saying Darryl Clark going to Cheltenham, which is mad, obviously our ex-manager, but that's one hell of a job if he can. Yeah, Bonham Gordo said, but that's a hell of a job. But yeah, appreciate everyone that's still tuning in. 46 of you, keep hitting the like button. If you've got any questions for Caiden as well, drop them in the chat as well. And well, that's a bit of a mad donation. Thanks to Jeremy Andrews for the. That's the first one I've had in ages. Obviously, yeah, I don't people if you want, but yeah, that's amazing. So thanks to Jeremy Andrews, who sends a 20 quid donation, which is out of nowhere, but I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, Neil, have you got any thoughts or questions for Caiden about Peterborough this season? Style of play, thoughts on Ferguson, Clark Harris, of course.
I mean, I think Peterborough, as far as I'm aware, and they've been for every single season, they're a pretty safe bet for knowing exactly what you're going to get from them. They're gunno. They're always top heavy at the top of the pitch. They're always nailed on for both teams to score in a coupon. They don't. From what I've seen of Ferguson, he sets his sides up from the front, and he doesn't really take much care of what goes on behind it. To be honest, ever since Peterborough have always been like, ever since like Michael Smith, McLean, they've always had frightening centre forwards, and then what goes behind that is it sort of gets forgotten about, doesn't it? Really, I mean, what the other kid they had that he went to Hull and then Bolton, the lunatic. You know what I mean? He was a good player, but absolutely round the
Madison.
bend. Yeah, but round the bend. Yeah, but they've always had good
He was
attacking
unreal though
players.
at Peterborough. What a player he was.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've always had him. And I don't think that it will be any different sort of this season, next season, especially as long as Ferguson's there. That's how he sets them up. They'll always have a good attacking threat, especially at home. They'll come after sides, and I think unless Caiden tells me any different, I'd be surprised if that's not what they're like now, and that's what they won't be like on Saturday. I mean, if you look at it, what they got like Poku, Mason Clark, Jono. Do you know what I mean? You reel off their names. Apart from they got a gun centre half who's going to go for a lot of money. Is it Edwards?
Yeah, Ronnie Edwards. Yeah,
he's going to go for a lot of money one day. But the rest of them are all going in that direction. They're frightening attacking players, and that's where they're going to earn their coin by shifting them on.
Because I'm surprised he's still. Well, you had Clark Harris, and obviously was very close to signing for us. Obviously, the shambles that his Rovers didn't get it done, but after seeing us sign Chris Martin, a lot of people are now thinking, "Oh, again, is Clark Harris going to come?" But we'll have to see with that. But for now, he is a Peterborough player, and obviously, I hope and pray to the Lord himself that he doesn't go mad tomorrow, because he's been on good form recently. But it was mad though, the game that you played the other night in the Carabao Cup. He scored 2 goals. He gave away a penalty for a foul on our left back we had last season, Callum McDonald. And then he also missed a penalty in the penalty shootout. And obviously you lost on penalties as well. And it was when it going a bit mad because the keeper you had was, I think, saved a few penalties, didn't he, as well? And it was absolute. I've seen the longer highlights and it was absolute carnage. I think our old player Ollie Clark missed as well. So, and you actually went with a fully strength team as well, didn't you, the other night against Mansfield?
Yeah, I think we've played a lot of strong teams in the cups. Just to get that team bonding. Playing, the more you play, that the more the 11 players play together, the better they're going to get. Is usually what happens. But yeah, it was disappointing Tuesday.
Yeah. Obviously 2-2, but then losing on penalties. Do you think Clark Harris will be gone in January? Says Ben Darrell.
It depends if we get the right money, and it depends if it's like the right move for him.
Yeah.
It would definitely be disappointing if he was to go. And if up until January, the fans sort of start to show him a bit more love and he scores a load of goals, then I could probably see him staying till the end of the season, maybe. But I'm pretty sure his contract's up at the end of the season, so we most likely might be wanting to get some money for him in January, even though I think a lot of teams will be waiting till the summer. Yeah,
that's the thing, innit? Because obviously he's going to be. Is he 30 now, or is he going to be 30? And then, like you said, in January, I think you could even though he'll have another, less months left on his contract, I think you'll get more money for him in January than you would have just gone. Because I think more clubs will be looking for a striker in January, and people know, Clark Harris's record was it 78 in the last 3 seasons at Peterborough, which is just insane. And obviously at us he got 27 and 52, so everyone knows how good he is. But like you said, and people will, no matter if he's 30, if he's mid-20s, people will want him. So got a comment here from Max Stairs. What was your thoughts on Ogbeta? I think he was there last season, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's a comment from one of the lads from Borough My Mind. On the wind up. Yeah, but my opinion on Ogbeta is it's a bit of a controversial one, but I just said that he's a bit overrated because he came on loan and he had a good few games, and there was all this hype around him, and he got injured, and people were calling for him to be signed, but I just don't think it was the right move, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. Even into Jamie Simmons, big up to you for tuning in. Orange Joker saying, how much would you say JSH is worth from the time he's been with you? But it's obviously different now, isn't it? Because he joined you when he was, 27? He's now 30. He's still worth quite a lot, isn't he? Really? Even with 6 months left, 8 or 9 months left now. Then come January, it'll be 6 months. But yeah, what would you say as a Peterborough fan with obviously Clark Harris, who mainly gets all your goals? What would you? Obviously, I know you're not the owner or McAntony, etc. But what would you take for Clark Harris if a team was to come in for him?
I would probably say maybe $750,000, or maybe up somewhere between 750K to $1 million, I would say, because he's a brilliant goal scorer. He does get stick for some people say he puts a lack of effort in. Apart from a lot of people say he just sits up front or defends corners, and that's about it. But he is brilliant. He scores goals. He's a great finisher. What else do you want from a striker, really? And he's definitely lost. I'm not sure if he was ever fast, but if he was, he's definitely lost that. But yeah, he's sort of in our current team, a lot of people have said he doesn't really suit our style with the younger, fast players. But I think he does. I think he's great at holding up the ball and playing it on.
Yeah, it's hard doing it because you can't like, no matter if a player is so good, like people obviously will always moan or have their opinions on someone, because like you said, even at Rovers, that you'd see him, it just be walking, and then next minute out of nowhere, bang, he'll just put one in the top corner. And like you said, either way, you can't really get people saying nice things all the time, even with a quality player like Clark Harris is. Obviously, we're close to going into lineup predictions and score predictions, but I just want to quickly ask you one more question. What would you say your weaknesses are as a side, what you've seen so far? Because I can imagine your strengths would be the way you attack, the way you transition. Clark Harris, if anything falls for him, and you got Poku and Mason Clark, who I think are both quality. But if there was any weaknesses, and where could Rovers exploit Peterborough?
There's a key one. Posh fans in the chat will know what I'm going to say. But basically, since I think Derby sort of found out, after the first few games, what our main weakness is, and it's Harrison Burrows at left back. He was a midfielder, and then he started getting played at left wing back during the championship season, I'm pretty sure, and he was okay, but he was sort of lucky that he had 3 solid defenders there to support him. But now he's playing in a back 4 at left back, and against Derby, I'm pretty sure at least maybe twice out of the 4 goals they scored were from his side, across into the box, and either a header or just the finish in the back of the net. And yeah, pretty much since the Derby game, that's been most of the goals we've conceded. Same thing from that right hand side, cross into the box and an easy finish. So if you do that, I'm sure you win the game.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed Luke Thomas can have another quality game like he did against Wigan. And yeah, because he's quite small as well, isn't he? He's like 5'6", maybe even smaller than that. He's quite a small
Something
player
like
as
that.
well. But yeah, it should be definitely a good battle though, seeing that. So yeah, you heard it here first. If Thomas is running down the right, hopefully we've got a good chance of him doing well. And quickly, one more question: what's been your thoughts on Rovers so far? I don't know if you've seen any games, seen any signings that stand out for you, or results, especially the Wigan game. Obviously, we smashed them. So what have you made of Rovers if you've seen much of us this season?
Yeah, I've not really paid much attention, if I'm honest. But I know you beat. Did you beat Charlton?
Yeah, beat Charlton away 2-1. Yeah,
yeah, that was a good result. And then Saturday, was it Saturday? Wigan.
Yeah, Saturday 4-1. Yeah, 4 different goal scorers, and obviously, with obviously the way you transition and the high tempo, the high press, both teams really do. It's just definitely going to be an interesting game because obviously Collins and before, it's only in the last few weeks Collins and Marquis have both got their started scoring because we struggled opening times. Like we were having loads of chances. Like Barnsley, we should have smashed them. We should have won 4-5-1 at home. Like Marquis could have had 4 goals, but in the last few weeks, Marquis has got 2 and 2. Like we said earlier on, and Collins has got 3 and 3. So it's coming at the right time that we've hopefully we can make it 4 games unbeaten and 3 wins in a row against you. And Oscar Barrett, evening to you as well. LT showing real quality this season. And Ben Dowell saying, don't worry, Shake and we'll go all in January for Clark Harris. Yeah, we'll have to see with that one. But I just want to get everyone's thoughts as well as Caiden. Obviously, everyone leave your starting 11s. Would you make any changes if Wilson's back? Would you put him back in for Grant and put Grant left back? So let us know your lineup predictions. We'll get on to score predictions in a minute as well. And big up to Blaze Ramble, quality content creator. Go and subscribe to him on the road to 4K. And he's in the FCAs this year as well for best new content creator in the Premier League. So make sure you go and vote for him on Insta and Twitter. He's a quality creator. So appreciate you tuning in. And hope everyone enjoying the stream. Keep hitting the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Cape United. I'll leave his details for the Bar in My Mind podcast, and his channel is in the description. Do subscribe to him as well. And big up to Bristol Lure Fishing, and big up to Gas Pap as well. And Jimmy says, top man, appreciate it, pal. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it. Same to you as well. So quickly get your lineup prediction in, Neil. Obviously, Caiden, you can think about what team you would play and let us know in a sec. What would you do, Neil? Would you keep it unchanged, or because we're playing Peterborough's very quality going forward and that's their main strength, would you make any changes considering it's a away game as well? Some people might want to make changes because going away from home, I'm guessing most people will be happy with a point, etc. So what would be your starting 11 for Peterborough?
Given that we've got a 3-game week, what I'd probably have one eye on Port Vale on the Tuesday. The fact we've come off of scoring 4 against Wigan, against a side that were wide open against us, happy to go toe to toe with us, is sort of the blueprint for what Peterborough are going to do. Peterborough are not going to sit in, are they? Not going to sit in and invite us on and just try and pick us up on the break. They're going to fancy themselves, and rightly so. They got gun forward players. They're going to go toe to toe with us, and we'll go toe to toe with them. It will be wide open. It will be both teams to score on the coupon, 100%. I'm more than happy to see what we saw on Saturday go out there again, because my side for Port Vale would look a lot different to what it would do from Saturday or what it will do coming into this Saturday. So with Wilson looking like he's going to miss sort of 3-4 weeks, I'm more than happy to go in like for like as what we did and look to utilise that bench 60, 70 minutes and try and run over Peterborough again at the back end of the game.
Mm-hmm. So you'd keep it unchanged, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I've got no problem with Vale playing as a fullback, trying to create overloads. If Burrows is their weak link to get isolated, then they're in for a world of pain with like Hunt and Thomas.
Hunt and Thomas on the right hand side
for us at the minute. So if this game was played on paper, we'd win it at the minute by the sound of it. But it ain't and it won't be. So but I'd go in as the blueprint of being Wigan, to be honest, because you're going to face a side that's going to play a back 4 and look to come and get at you.
Yeah. I agree. I would keep the same team. By the way, Man City's winning the Prem. in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, I'd Cox in goal, Jack Hunt right back, or should I say in inverted brackets right winger, like he was against Wigan. Taylor and Josh Grant centre back, Harvey Vell, the cam, the winger, at left back, because like you said, he done very well against Wigan, and like you said, Peterborough will be playing exactly the same way. So yeah, I would put him in. And yeah, Bogard just in front of the defence with Finley, who was excellent. Evans again, didn't mention him earlier on a lot, but again, quality. And then yeah, front three of Luke Thomas, super big John Marquis, and Aaron Collins. So yeah, we would basically go unchanged as well. Tom Butler saying I'd bring in Lewis Gordon for Vale, and appreciate the comment as well, Joker, and appreciate everyone watching in. I hope you are enjoying it. But what would you go for, Caiden? What would be your starting 11 for Posh this weekend?
I would stick with Bilikapic in goal. I think I wouldn't be against bringing in our backup, but yeah, I think we should stick with him. Then left back, I think we should go with Sturge, but I'm not sure if we will. Sturge is Aloni, but yeah, I think we need to bring him in instead of Burrows. And then 2 centre-back pairing of Critchlow and Edwards, and a right back's out, so it'll have to be Knight, who is a centre-back, but he can do a job at right back, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then the midfield, well, it's an interesting one because we do like to, in recent games, we've sort of gone with a 4-4-2, but it sort of forms into a 4-2-4, so very attacking.
Yeah.
2 centre mids of Kiprianu and Collins. Kiprianu, brilliant player. He's our top goal scorer so far, I think. Might be level with Clark Harris now. I'm not sure. But yeah, he's great for midfield. And then either a front 4 or front 2, but either way, Mason Clark and Poku on either wing, and then Ricky, Jay Jones, and Clark Harris up top.
Yeah, it's a strong team. You know, you got the big man, little man partnership. I remember, and I'm pretty sure one of the first time I seen Jay Jones was, I think, Tony's last season with you. When you come to the Mem and Jones come off the bench, I think that might have been in his first year, because he's still young now, but even then he must have, I think he was only 16, 17.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he's definitely a player to watch. And like you said, everyone knows even before the game, so how the way you play that is, gun ho, which is brilliant to see. I'm glad, even when you come away, you do the same. You don't really change it. Whereas a lot of teams, they might come, especially, Port Vale, when they come to us, they'll be like sat back, but that's fair enough. Teams do what they do, innit? But yeah, should be a very interesting game. Score predictions. Obviously, a few people have put them in the comments already. If you haven't put your prediction in the comments, then do let us know your score predictions. And I think most people are agreeing unchanged. Obviously, Tom said bring in Lewis Gordon. I personally wouldn't, just because he hasn't played a lot. He's played hardly any, but yeah, we'll have to see. But yeah, Neil, what is your score prediction for Posh? Are you going to go for another 3-2 like you did last week, or yeah? What do you think? What do you reckon?
Like I said, I think the blueprint's there for Saturday. For they've got a few more senior heads in there than what Wigan did, and they've got a format of playing that they've been playing for years on end. It's nothing brand new that they're learning, but I think the blueprint's pretty much there or thereabouts. I think there will be goals. I don't think you get much money for both teams to score on the coupon this Saturday. I think it's probably pretty much nailed on. 2-2.
2-2. Goal scorers.
we're horrible at Posh, aren't we? I mean, we haven't
Yeah.
won there for God knows how long. Probably Mason Clark for them. I think he's a gun. I think he's a real good player. Maybe Josh Wakelin, maybe.
Yeah.
And then for us, I don't know. You've got 4 that scored last week. Could be anyone, couldn't it? I'd say Azza to get another one, and maybe Sinclair off the bench.
Sinclair off the bench. So yeah, 2-2. Yeah, Chad saying start Chrissy Martin. Obviously, recently signed striker. Would be interesting to see if he's on the bench or not, because obviously he hasn't played. Who's that? Sorry,
he ain't got a great record when he plays against us, though, Jono, has he? He hasn't scored that full of goals against us.
Why would you say that?
He hasn't, though, has he?
Before we play him.
Oh well, if he does,
no, he hasn't. He hasn't. No, he hasn't. No, but no, you should. Oh, I'm going as well. So
if he bags hat-trick Saturday, that's my fault, is it?
Yeah, it is. Blame Neil. Get out on Twitter everywhere. Blame
lump on it now and win yourself some money.
But yeah, what's your prediction, Caiden? Obviously, Neil's gone with a 2-2 high scoring. Are you going to say the same, or are you a bit more? Are you confident? Are you confident going into the game?
Relatively, we've won 1 out of the last 3, which sounds bad, but the other 2 games were draws. Those 2 draws should have been wins, really, against Bolton and Leyton Orient. I mean, we very rarely draw, but for some reason 2 out of the last 3 have been draws, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was another draw. But I'm really hoping it isn't, because ideally we need to win if we want to push into the playoffs. Yeah, but my prediction, I'll say 2-1 Posh.
2-1. Goal scorers?
I'll say a Jono double.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, now people in the comments are there like, Kyogalor's just put, cheers, Neil, putting this month's rent on JCH hat-trick now.
I'm here to help.
Yeah. Neil's just cursed it. Hayner's going, so that's a 0-0 then. Well, funny enough, you should say that. The last time I went, which was last season, we drew 0-0. And we beat Posh at home. So that's the first time. Yeah, it's pretty mad, really, considering the topsy-turvy season we had last year. We didn't concede any against Peterborough last season, and we took 4 points off them. So, but we'll have to see. And yeah, who you going for? Rovers goal scorer?
Go Collins. Is he playing?
Yeah. It'll be there. Hopefully 4-4. Fingers crossed. So, but yes, it's tough, isn't it? I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'll quickly get a few predictions out first. Obviously, I went with a 3-1 last week. I even had someone, I don't know who it was, I put on Instagram post. Someone was like, "You're so a Rovers fan." He was like, "You're so deluded." Good at my 3-1 prediction, but I'm always confident and positive. So yeah, we've got Tom Butler saying no reason why we can't win, but he's going for a 2-2 draw, same as Neil. Also, DeMarcus is going for a 2-2 draw. Johnson Clark Harris sticks a Rovers jersey on at halftime, then bags 2 for us. Martin will come off the bench and score a last-minute winner, saying Gordo. My prediction. It's tough. I'm actually going to go for another 3-1 Rovers win. I predicted it last week, nearly got it, but yeah, I just hope. Yeah, I think as long as we play like we have been, I'm confident, because we've been defensively pretty good. We've looked better going forward the last few games, especially after scoring 4. I know it's going to be different going away from home, but yeah, I'll say 3-1. I'll go with Clark Harris to score. I think that'd be the first goal he scored against us since he's left us, actually. So Neil was right. Yeah, he hasn't scored, but I'll go Clark Harris to score. I'll go with Sinclair to get a goal off the bench, and I'll go with Marcus and Collins. So Yeah, call me deluded again, but I'll say 3-1 Rovers. I'm confident. And yeah, why not back for? And someone said earlier on, the last time we beat Peterborough, I was 10, so that was
At
17.
Posh?
Yeah, at Posh. That's nearly 17 years ago. So yeah, we haven't won at Peterborough since 2006. So hopefully we can finally do it. Yeah, Gordo there. What's Charlie smoking? Josh Gray is going for 3-2 to Rovers. Collins, Marquis, and Luke Thomas. Gas Pap saying I'm always confident. I know. I can't help it. I'm sorry for being so positive and confident, but yeah, there you go. Yambi Sims, I'm mental 2-2. Every time Hayner says a 3-1 win, we always tend to win. Keep it coming, I'd say. Yeah. Let's get some other ones as well that was said earlier on. Ben saying 2-1 Gas. Gas Pop saying 2-1 Gas. JCH not playing. Hopefully he doesn't play. Simon Bracey, you thought I was mad. Simon Bracey's gone for a 3-0 Rovers win. So with a clean sheet, JCH will down tools for the rest of the afternoon. So yeah, hopefully I haven't missed any. But yeah, we're pretty much going to end it here. We've been going like an hour and 12 minutes. So yeah, Neil's gone for a 2-2. I've gone for a 3-1, same as last weekend. And yeah, Caiden's gone for a 2-1 Peterborough win. But yeah, do you want to quickly shout out again where people can find you? And obviously, I'm guessing you'll be vlogging the game Saturday. So if everyone wants to see a vlog, then go and subscribe to Cape United. But yeah, where else can we find you as well? And obviously the podcast.
So yeah, just Cape United on YouTube. Yeah, I make vlogs, just sort of standard thing, I guess. But some people like them. And yeah, you can check out Burn My Mind fan channel. Yeah, we'll be posting our preview tomorrow night, I'm pretty sure. So if you want to go check that out, then sure.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so make sure you check it out, and yeah, check out Cape United on YouTube. Gordo saying you must be sharing your smoke, Charlie. Got a few more predictions coming in. Big up to Cheers as well. 1-0 Posh. He's saying so. Rovers will not score after scoring 4. Steve Fuller as well. Evening to you. Up the gas. Hopefully a 2-1 win. Fingers crossed. Chad Adams 3-2 Rovers. Good stream, guys. Same again next week. Cheers to Caiden. Interesting insight. So yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, we're pretty much gonna end it now. Like I said earlier on, if you haven't already followed us on the new socials, then please do. Talking Gas Pod on Twitter and Talking Gas Podcast on Instagram. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, subscribe to Caiden and Bar on My Mind. And yeah, if you're watching on the replay, then don't forget to leave your predictions as well. Hit the like if you haven't already. Appreciate so much that everyone tuned in. Obviously, the new journey, Talking Gas podcast. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll be going there again. So I'll be doing a match reaction straight after the game. So fingers crossed it'll be another win. But yeah, thanks to everyone watching, and up the gas.